Hello, everybody. Welcome to the latest episode of Two Old Gamers podcast via Zoom again. This is a bit of a quick one, but we want to talk about some stuff, really, don't we? I don't know what we're going to talk about.
You could talk about all the money I'm going to be spending in November.
Yeah, no, you're going to be spending a lot.
I've just seen they've announced that for like $24.99 you can get Observer Redux 4K on PS5, and it looks stunning. Have you seen the trailer for it?
No, the trailer for that is really, really good. Really, really good.
And I like that game, so I might get that. Okay. So, let me tell you this. On the screen, we've got the prices of the PS5 that have been announced, okay? Unless you've been living under a rock. PlayStation 5 are going in big guns with a 360 quid digital only edition to compete with the 300. Is it 300 quid? The Xbox One S?
No, 249.
Oh, is it 250?
So it undercuts the Switch. That's how I mean. So what Xbox are trying to do is they're trying to go for PS5 with the Series X and trying to get the Switch market with the Series S. But
that's not been mentioned by anybody, but that's a good point.
But the thing is, though, is that the Series S is a cut-down console.
It's 4 T-flops, but with new architecture. It's more of a 1080p, or they say 1440p, but it's probably going to be a 1080p 60 frames a second machine rather than a 4K with ray tracing machine.
No, absolutely.
You're not going to see ray tracing on that 4 T-flop machine, that's for sure. And if you do, it'll be at really bad frame rates.
No. So it does actually. One of the things that it says on their little image that they've done, like Sony's, is that it does the Series S does have ray tracing, but it's DirectX ray tracing, which means it's software ray tracing, not hardware ray tracing, which means it's not going to be.
That's even worse, isn't it?
As good. Of
course not. How could it be? The big box, the big beefy box, is 450 quid, and they're dropping 200 quid off.
Speaking of ray tracing, though, just on a side note, did you know there's a really good Digital Foundry video out this week about the remastered version of Crysis on consoles, on the Xbox One X and PS4 Pro, where they've actually managed to implement a software ray tracing into the remaster that works fairly well. Not, of course, anywhere near the PC's hardware version, but it's amazing that they can actually make that do it on current gen consoles that shouldn't really be able to do it at all.
Well, that might be something to do with if they got a software in. Have you heard of this thing called DLSS? Which is basically you take a 1080p texture and it migrates it up. So all the textures, say loaded onto your system, which are smaller files than 4K files, are there. And with this DLSS, an algorithm, it can actually create amazing looking, look like 4K res graphics from 1080p base files using this DLSS, which is a NVIDIA based technology. But I think they said that the PS5's got its own proprietary sort of version of DLSS that they're working on. So it should mean that some games may be able to run really well with ray tracing turned on if they're not having to devote all the power to splodging out 4K base assets. So there's going to be a lot of trickery involved. Let's talk about, we know there were some issues with the fact that, I mean, let's just take it from the beginning. Let's talk about they did a showcase where there were a few, for me, couple of mic drop moments, really. The main game that I saw that I really, really want, that I never knew existed, was going to be shown, was the new Hogwarts game. Have you seen that?
Yeah. No, I have.
Now, You watch a 4K video on YouTube of the actual trailer, it looks stunning.
No, it absolutely does. No, it absolutely does. And I mean, it's like such a good game. It got leaked a while ago.
Yeah.
It got leaked a while ago from last year sometime, but it's went completely dark after that. But to see it now,
And the leaked images looked a bit pony, didn't they?
Yeah, but this looks like proper good game.
Yeah, I loved all the. It really brings the Harry Potter stuff to life, because I haven't seen a Harry Potter film in ages, and you know, with like the animated wall paintings and you know all the stuff that is in the Harry Potter universe. It looks like, to me, I thought, well, that'd be a fun game to play if you're going around waving your wand, doing magic spells, and all the rest of it.
Do you know what? A lot of people sort of like commented on like, oh, doesn't it give you a feel like Fable or something like that? But do you know what? I'm hoping that it's going to be like Bully, Rockstar's Bully, where you literally went around the school every day and had to do lessons and interact with people as well. I mean, it looks like it's got that element to it as well, which would be, you know, really, really good. But graphically, it's stunning. There's a bit in the trailer where you're solving a puzzle with a brick wall. Like, it just came up on the screen, where the bricks of the walls are like spinning a vortex or something like that. It looks really impressive. So
yeah,
that was a surprise that trailer was shown.
I mean, they showed a few other things they've shown before. There was a God of War teaser at the end, but the biggest part of that tease was the fact that it's coming out next year, which I don't think anyone expected.
No.
I'm trying to think if there's anything else that really. The only other thing actually that wasn't in that, but I've said to you, is to watch the Godfall latest combat trailer in 4K, and that game wasn't on my radar at all. I wasn't interested, and I'm looking at it. It looks fantastic.
Because I mean, I remember you saying about the first trailer coming out, and it's like you were saying, "Oh, that looks pony." It's like, "Oh, it looks like rubbish MOBA type shooter, rubbish free to play kind of game or something." But now, from all I have not seen the trailer yet, but I know that everyone's saying, "Oh, it actually looks pretty good."
It's like night and day. You watch it, that 4K combat trailer, and there is nuance to the combat. You can see that. So it's like, I'm going to get that on release potentially, but they gave us another look at the Abe's Oddworld thing. That's probably more of a niche title for certain people that like that.
I think that's an odd game to showcase on the PS5. I mean, it's kind of like, you know, Lemmings meets Oddworld. I mean, it looks nice, but I don't know. I don't have a lot of history with that.
Like that.
Every time.
Resident Evil Village is starting to. I mean, that's going to be a day one game. That looks great, because that gave me vibes of Resident Evil 4. You know, with the Spanish village type thing. It's got witches and werewolves in it.
Yeah, and also it looks a bit weird. So it's obviously a continuation of 7. It's
which I have played, and I really enjoyed once I played it. Yeah.
And then Chris, because I know Chris Redfield is in the DLC for 7, so it's obviously like.
Well, he appears at the end of 7.
Oh, does he?
Just a spoiler alert.
Don't need to play that now. I don't need to play that now. That's done.
No, it's funny because Resident Evil 7 was a game that didn't even look anything Resident Evil. It looked just like a really nasty sort of grindhouse chainsaw massacre sort of thing, but it does get there in the end.
I actually thought there was another trailer that caught my eye as well, which graphically looked incredible. I'm just going to try and bring it up on screen.
Oh yeah, Final Fantasy 16 got announced as well as a console exclusive and coming to PC, and then they also said coming to PC on Demon Souls. Demon Souls is the other game that I thought looked very, very impressive.
Demon Souls looks fantastic.
So
this trailer here, this caught me by surprise. I didn't know what the heck it was. For a minute, I thought it was like a Portal game. What they're going? No, it's not a Portal game. What is this? This little sequence here with the neon foyer and everything, that's showing off the hardware of PS5, and it turns out to be a Five Nights at Freddy's game. So it's like, wow.
I've never played one of them games. What are they?
No, they're like well, I think the original ones were like a mobile game where you're watching the security cameras at a restaurant with animatronics, but the animatronics are trying to kill you.
Oh.
And it is meant to be very, very good. The Five Nights at Freddy's Help Wanted, which is the VR game on PS VR, is everyone talks about that very highly all the time. So it's like, oh well, you know, that might be
okay,
something worth looking at, to be honest. But that sort of like that threw me. That trailer, the way it started off, was like, oh, this looks like Portal, or what is this?
Well, the other big shocker, apart from the fact that, just going back to those ones that said PC, coming to PC, and then they went and removed the trailer for Demon Souls, and they said it's a human error. If you believe that, then you're fucking stupid, because that wasn't a human error. Someone, apparently, they said, I mean, when Death Stranding trailer came out, well, apparently that said coming to PC, and then they removed it off of that one as well.
But then it did come to PC.
Yeah. So so Demon Souls will come to PC.
I mean, I think it's like, you know, I think all of these, you know, Sony have actually said after the Horizon Zero Dawn's done very well on PC, although the port's a bit wonky. They've actually said that, you know, they'll now look at bringing more of their first-party exclusives to PC. Yeah, I mean, it was interesting to see it. So the Final Fantasy, I missed that trailer because I was sorting something out in the house, so I missed that and watched it later. And of course, that does say very blatantly at the beginning, in the small print, running on a PC. It's a console exclusive on PS5, and also coming to PC. So it's like, and then it's actually the timing of it all. They've now released the timings of the exclusivity of it all, and it's like, it's all very, very convoluted. So the other thing they announced, which to me, I think I've said to you already, it's sort of like, it caught me off guard. I didn't really know what to make of it, but it's the PlayStation Plus collection.
Yeah.
And you quite rightly told me when I spoke to you yesterday that this is not for me. This is not for you or me. This is for people coming from other platforms for the first time to a PlayStation, allowing them to access some of the most fantastic PS4 exclusives and other games, generation-defining games, all in one collection, downloadable onto your PS3 day one. Go for it.
PS4,
and I mean, you know,
on the PS5 rather, not PS3.
On the PS3, on the PS5. Just you know, fantastic. You know, for people who haven't bought those games, to be able to just have that as part of your PlayStation Plus, and that will grow. I mean, this is their answer to what's it called? Game.
I don't know whether it'll grow. It might just be an initial thing that sits there just for new adopters.
Yeah, well, I mean, I don't know. We'll wait and see.
No, you put up now. Yeah, the Spider-Man actual gameplay demo, although it was a little bit sort of, you know, you had to like press a few buttons. What do they call it? Quick time events. No. It was proper gameplay.
Yeah,
I know that's the game. But it looks spectacular.
That was the Spider-Man E3 trailer years ago that seemed to show a little bit of action and then a very quick time event heavy. Is the thing that put me off the game and made me go, oh, this is going to be rubbish. This is not good. This is not good. Blah blah blah. And then it turned out it was probably my favourite game of the whole generation.
Well, that's because it's like a scripted story moment in the game. With a little bit of combat in between.
They made it so that it was like really all the action sequences you felt a part of. You know, it's lots going on at screen. You're only pressing a couple of buttons, but you really felt in the moment.
Yeah.
So this looks great. I mean, you know, it looks great. We know that they've said it's not a full game. You know, as in that sort of like 40-hour game, it's a 20-hour game, in the same way that Lost Legacy was for Uncharted.
Yeah.
But Uncharted Lost Legacy is one of my favorite Uncharted games. I prefer it.
That was better than Uncharted 4, I thought.
Yeah, no, it's like, so that's all good.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I think this initial sort of like walk through Harlem shows off the next gen engine part of it.
Yeah.
And then the combat bit kind of got a little bit more. I didn't notice, you know, as much going on next gen-y, but that was because it was just all Spider-Man action, and you wouldn't notice it because it's so fast and fluid, and there's always a lot going on screen.
It's a bit like when you watch a 3D film in the cinema. Initially, you notice all the 3D, and then half an hour later, it's sort of subconsciously you notice in 3D, but you don't notice it as much.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely.
But
now,
yeah,
Spider-Man is it's a bit of a complicated title for PS5 now, isn't it? Because I mean, it was sort of like that it's launch day, which is great. It needed to be launch day. There's two versions of the game, and this is something I can't believe that they didn't make a big deal of the second version in this sort of like showcase, because you can buy Spider-Man Miles Morales Ultimate Edition for like, isn't it?
It's called the Ultimate Edition.
10 quid more.
The Ultimate Edition is the one where you get the new PS5 graphics engine, but using Spider-Man original game.
Yeah,
code.
so you get a code for Spider-Man Remastered, which they didn't even announce. I can't believe there wasn't a little trailer to show you. So Spider-Man Remastered, which is not just a port of Spider-Man, it's the whole game in the new engine with the new character models, with all the DLC, new costumes, and new trophies. So that it's like there is a reason for fans of the first game to go back and play the remaster. And that's like
the
really
price
nice
difference, because obviously we've got another announcement that wasn't made, is that they say all first-party games are going to be $70 now, because they were $60 in the States. That's the base price, but we all know that when you add a season pass on, the point is we haven't had a price increase in games for a long time.
Well, no, we have. We have.
Have we?
6 years ago.
Yeah.
Games.
And we won't bring Nintendo into the equation because they're way overpriced.
But I mean, yeah, that's the thing with it all, is that, you know, a new console generation, £10 goes on the price of a game. It's the rule. It's almost like the unwritten rule. Games were $39.99, and then they went to around £39 to £49 for this generation, and they've started creeping up a little bit more. Yes, Nintendo, with their insistence on sticking to cartridge technology, means they're always more expensive. But yeah, $69.99, you know, it's a bitter pill to swallow for a couple of months, and then you go, that's how much games cost now.
Yeah. So like I told you, I'm going to stick to buying physical editions, because if I am you walked off.
No, I'm just rescuing the cat. I'm always listening to you. You know that.
My view, because I'm going for the disc-based PS5, I'm going for physical editions on everything I buy, apart from maybe like Observer, which looks really good in 4K, and is probably going to be. They want some PS5 games on the store, which they will have anyway. They'll have all of the games on there probably, but
yeah.
24 quid or 24.99 for Observer would be quite a good little digital download, you know. But yeah, I'm going disc on everything pretty much, because some people won't even be jumping into the PS5 until halfway through next year, and that will keep the prices of the traded in versions of the disc versions of the games reasonably high, I would have thought. So I can then just trade them in and get something else, you know, once I play them.
So, I mean, the thing we're going to touch on now is, so that Sony had a bit of a funny one with this conference. I mean, the conference is brilliant. The showcase, it did everything that it had to do. It had to do this week. You know, price, date. Here's some more stuff. Everyone's excited. You know,
they didn't do all their due diligence, though, did they? Really, at the end.
And then after the show finished, Sony's PR guys went off and had a beer and congratulated themselves.
Jeff Keighley took over
and left all the announcements to Jeff Keighley. So, like, on Twitter, going, "Oh, by the way, did you know that Spider-Man, Miles Morales, Horizon Forbidden West, and Sackboy aren't PS5 exclusives? They will all be coming to PS4." And it's like, what? Really? Oh. And then you look on the Sony website, and there it is confirmed. So, yeah, I mean, they don't want to make a big deal out of that, but it's like, oh, that's a bit odd. I'm surprised that Spider-Man, which to me is the game that would, you know, is the launch title.
Yeah.
I'm surprised that Sony are making that a cross-gen game.
They have since said, Jeff Ryan, or whatever his name is, Jeff Lying.
Jimbo.
Jim Lying.
Jim Lying.
You know, he said that the PS5 versions of Horizon and Spider-Man have been done from the ground up. So what they're trying to say is that there's no compromise. And I know there were a lot of butthurt PS5 or PlayStation people, but I said to one guy on Twitter that was bitching about it, I said, look, he's going on about the graphics. I said a couple of things. The first tweet I said, okay, so now, because he was saying that, you know, it's all been held back because it's not a true next gen title like Horizon. I said, okay, so what's changed then? Because are you telling me that your reaction when you first saw the PS5 graphics for Horizon on the trailer in 4K, you were really excited, and now all of a sudden it's now not acceptable? Do you know what I mean? Make your mind up. And then the other thing I said was, I said also, next gen is not just graphics. It's the haptic feedback, the reactive triggers, it's the 3D audio. All those things is one of the reasons I want a PlayStation, is because all those features, because, you know, in a movie, 50% of the equation is the sound. And this 3D audio sounds amazing.
We've been around the block now we've gone through so many different console generations now in our lives.
Yeah.
And we all know the same thing, is that when a console launches and it's the next generation, you're gonna get titles that are showcase titles that are impressive, but you're not going to get that full next gen wow.
Yeah.
Until at least.
Do you remember Black Flag? That was a good example, wasn't it? Black Flag.
Yeah, it had better water, some better lighting, and it was in a higher resolution. It wasn't.
And it was great.
And it was great, but it wasn't like that. Didn't show off the power of your new console.
Not like Odyssey or something like that.
But then, take 6 years later, and we're looking at Ghost of Tsushima, and it's like, my God, this is incredible. You know, if we're going to start. The next generation is going to be starting at the level of Last of Us Part 2 and Ghost of Tsushima types, that, you know, style of graphics and everything, with a little bit added reflections. We're great, and everything's better from here on. You know,
sorry, I missed off one other thing. The other thing is, I said, was it's the controller, it's the 3D audio, and it's the SSD loading. Have you seen the difference in load times?
Oh yeah,
Someone's I mean, the fact that when you play something like Demon Souls, you die and it's bang, it's literally 0.8 of a second, you're back in the game again. On the original game, it was like 10 seconds.
Which is well, no, let's go back to awful days of Bloodborne, which is the PS4 exclusive from Software, and if you died in one certain area of the game, the load time was 60 seconds.
Really?
If you died inside Old Yarnum, it was 60 seconds to get back to the checkpoint.
You know, there's a rumor now. I just saw it this evening that there's going to be a Bloodborne remastered.
I'm when there was a trailer showcase, and I literally, and maybe it was the beginning of the Demon Souls trailer, and I put one point of it, Moonlight, and the way it moves, I thought, oh my god, they're announcing Bloodborne 2, and it was like, oh no. But I mean, this Demon Souls remaster, that is the thing that looks next gen. To me, that looks more next gen than Spider-Man. It just looks gorgeous.
Did you know I actually bought Demon Souls on the PS3, and I bought
it
when before anyone was into all these types of games, and I'd heard about this strange game.
It was an American from Japan.
Something like that, yeah. It was a region-free version or something.
Yeah, I remember you importing it because you'd heard about it.
The thing about that game was that people left messages. There was a multiplayer element where people left messages like, if you.
So in the trailer, you can see all the like little marks of fire on the floor, and that's people's messages. And you used to be able to trick people by leaving fake messages, like putting a message round near a trap saying "all clear." No.
Really unique concept, that, wasn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
So yeah, so you know, there have been some little missteps from Sony. One of the excuses was that the way the announcement came out was that firstly the retailers took us tomorrow. Pre-orders are live from tomorrow. They thought it was from midnight. So they just, right? And then the other one was that they said that there are these scalping bots that try and get pre-orders so they can then try and scalp people for stupid amounts of money.
Are you joking? That's bad.
No, there are scalping bots. They have these bots they have to configure. So when the Xbox goes on sale, I don't think they need a scalping bot for that, because I'm sure there'll be plenty of stock for that going around. But you know, unless you're a Game Pass fanatic, which I'm not, but I'll tell you what I've got pre-ordered then, right? Okay. So this is the other thing, pre-order. So then I didn't realize, I didn't scroll down the bottom of my browser. I didn't click the accept cookies. I had to refresh my browser to get into Shop 2, right? Because I had registered my interest back in 20th of January this year, right?
Right.
Which is pretty much the time they opened up the register of pre-interest. So you have to go in, and then you have to go in and click a green button to confirm your pre-order.
Oh, right, yeah.
Turn it from a pre-interest to a confirmed pre-order.
Right.
And then you have to come out, go back to another menu, go back in again, and then do that on every other thing you ordered. So I pre-ordered the disc-based console, the headphones, which came in at 89 quid, which actually I thought were going to be like 150 or something. I got rid of the controller in the end. I didn't bother with an extra one. I went for the camera, which is 49 whatever quid. I've ordered the charging station because I know that they're moving the USBs more to the back now. So I think I might need to just plug a charging station in so it's discreetly and not hanging out the single USB that's out the front.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, and the media remote. And this evening I looked on a number of websites and all of those are sold out. Even the media remote. In fact, it's only the controllers that aren't sold out in a lot of places.
It's nice to see that the controller, which is got, I think, a lot, by the sounds of it, a lot more tech in it than the DualShock 4, isn't
60 quid.
It's not as
stupidly expensive, is it?
It's not stupidly expensive. I mean, it's the price of a pair of Joy-Cons. Wasn't the DualShock 4 initially like £49?
It was a lot of money, and they're not cheap now, really. But anyway, so I clicked on those. I added Miles Morales Spider-Man. Now, at the moment, no one is advertising this in quotes Ultimate Edition. So I'm buying the Miles Morales one that's retailing. I don't know. It's like $51.99 I'm paying for this thing. So that sounds like a $60 game version to me.
Because there's no pre-orders on the PSN store either for any of these PS5 exclusive games.
No, you won't see it on the PS4 shop, will you?
Well, no, because the PSN shop on the website is for all platforms.
Oh, is it? Okay.
Mm.
So, and I also pre-ordered Demon Souls. Now, I also want some other games, third-party games. So I went to the game collection, and funny enough, they've added £5 in one day to the basic cost for Watch Dogs. So I went for the basic edition of that, which is £44.99. They've now whacked it up to £50.
Mm.
Um,
Was that
and I
on
pre-ordered.
PS5?
Yeah, I'm only going PS5. There's also, I know it's out before the console, but I'm not buying it before. I want everything on PS5 in PS5 boxes because it's physical.
Yeah.
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 There's also, I also got the gold edition of Assassin's Creed because I love Assassin's Creed, and the DLC is normally really good with those games. It's good value. I will say, even though they have a lot of microtransaction bullshit with cosmetics, their actual DLC gold editions that you get for those games are normally very good. Though Far Cry and Assassin's Creed are particularly strong, I found, in terms of content value. So I've got 3 of those games pre-ordered as well. I mean, those 3 games came to like 174 fucking quid.
I'm just having a look. Yeah, I'm just having a look on the PlayStation Store. Yeah, the Ubisoft games that you can pre-order now for PS4 entitle you to a free download upgrade on PS5.
I know that, but
oh no, no.
You know, interesting one. What did you think of that because Ubisoft had a little show as well, and they showed more of that Gods and Monsters type game, which I thought looked all right.
No, so
Phoenix Rising or something.
Phoenix, yeah, and I like the look of that.
Yeah, I thought it looked good. And that's out 3rd of December.
I don't think I would get that on Switch. I think I would actually get that on PS4 because I think it's turning out to be a lot prettier than.
Oh, it looks great.
Than it looked a year ago. So I think that's looking pretty good. I was actually very, very pleased that they're going to re-release Scott Pilgrim versus the World, which is a great little beat 'em up, and that deserves to be re-released. Apart from that, the rest of it was shit.
Yeah, I think Watch Dogs, I'm not quite sure how much I'll get out of it, but I just want to go around London, because I know some of the roads around London, and just see. I do appreciate a nicely rendered London town, So, and I like the idea that the fact that you've got a lot of verticality in it. You can fly on drones and stuff up really high.
Yeah.
And I do like stealth. I mean, you know what, Ubisoft games, they're all morphing into one thing almost. It's like Assassin's Creed they all nick bits off of each other, don't they? In terms of, I mean, I think the most that's been stolen from is Far Cry, to be quite honest with you. They've stolen this thing of, you get like a place that's held by bad guys and you can stealth it, or you can, you liberate areas and there's smoke in the distance, and I mean, I still love Far Cry games. So Far Cry 6 is February. Now, I haven't actually pre-ordered Cyberpunk 2077, which they had a big thing this evening, which last time I watched it left me feeling a little bit, I'm not so sure. But now they've shown that the city detail looks incredible. Absolutely amazing. I want to just buy that on. I'm buying so many games at launch because I'm going away in hospital for a month, so I'm not going to come out until when the PS5 is released, basically, once I'm in. So really, I've got no reason to worry about getting Cyberpunk day one.
We know how big The Witcher was, and Cyberpunk's going to be at least as big as that. So
yeah,
having that as your next gen day launch game is like it's a game that seems like it's a commitment.
It's going to be interesting because you look at the games I'm going to be getting. Massive open world Cyberpunk. I'm getting massive open world Assassin's Creed, which is the one I'll probably gravitate to out of all of them, and maybe Watch Dogs as well. Massive open world. and then you've got Demon Souls, which is a different style of game. I'm glad I'm getting that. Spider-Man, massive open world, but you know, I that's the thing. I platinum Spider-Man, didn't I?
Mm.
After we chatted last time,
Yeah.
and I thoroughly enjoyed that after not playing it for 2 years. I had it for 2 years. I didn't touch it. I still haven't touched Last of Us, but I'm going to play that when I'm in hospital, I think. So
You got a lot to play in hospital. Horizon, God of War.
yeah, I
Got to
did
play
get
catch
quite
up.
a way through God of War. Eh?
You got to play catch up.
Yeah, and Days Gone.
Yeah.
You know, so I've got plenty to play when I'm in hospital. I've got Maddens, which I bought on PlayStation 4 digital, and that's a free upgrade on PS5. So I'll grab that because, I mean, hopefully they'll fix the buggy mess that it is by then anyway.
Yeah.
So, I mean, to be quite honest with you, as soon as they announce the 2 terabyte SSD or whatever it is, or I'm not quite sure, they've not really said whether you buy an SSD that replaces the one that's in the PlayStation, or whether you buy one that just piggybacks.
Well, that's the problem, is that they've not. That's the thing that they need to do now. Is they need
They've
to
not
release
given us any technical
all the
teardown
actual
yet.
technical information, like
Yeah.
how the PlayStation VR works. You know, things
Yeah.
like that.
Nothing.
Just to say, we've got less than 1 minute left on our call.
Yeah.
Because
Have we?
We're not pro. We're not pro.
Well, I think we've been through it. I'm going to be spending about £1,000 on fucking games and hardware, and I'm quite happy about it. I'm well pleased because that's my treat to myself.
Absolutely.
Saving up money.
And you're going to send me the pictures.
Well, I'll be in isolation, so you can't. Like I said, you won't
No,
be coming in the house.
you just send me pictures. We'll do a Zoom call.
I'll send you
just
gameplay videos.
Point the camera at the TV and make me go, oh.
Yeah. I take it none of us are interested in Xbox.